Hello. Welcome. Today, since you're watching this video, I wanted to take this time to discuss basically what's been happening recently within the gaming industry. Basically, it's gone to shit. It's been on a steady decline for a while now. The gaming developers and publishers and whatever, ever since they kind of started doing all this pre-order now for exclusive weapon skins, or buy the season pass now before the game's even out and get all the DLC for free, and all the DLC that you get is just sort of, like back in the day, DLC, the equivalent to that would have been like an expansion pack. Let's take Oblivion for example. You could download the Shivering Isles expansion pack. You could download it, but you could also get it on a disc. Now, I'm not disputing what format the media is sold on, as in digital or physical. The point I'm trying to get across now is that you are pre-ordering these games before they're out. Let's say it costs 40 quid for the new Call of Duty, and they're trying to entice you into pre-ordering it by giving you some weapon camos or an extra map, 3 months before anyone else, and it's no hardship on their back, but they're somehow securing these pre-orders. Or you get exclusive invite to the beta of the game, or whatever, whatever it is that they're giving you for pre-ordering. I'm not saying they shouldn't give you extra shit for pre-ordering, but when they're giving you DLC or shit that's in the season pass or whatever, I find these days they're actually putting less content in the game itself, and then they are kind of like a half-written story, and then they're giving you the last 2 or 3 chapters as DLC. So not only are you buying sort of a half a game or a 7/10 of a game, they're giving you that much, so then you're inclined to buy the extra shit that should have been in the game originally, which is then maximising their sales and profits and whatever. And it's like, now the gaming industry is purely about making money. That is it. That's why you get half-made games that are rushed, or they're actually worse than the predecessor, when a sequel should in actual fact be better by rights. If it was shit, they should have gone back to the drawing board, find out what people didn't like about it, because after all, the consumer essentially pays their bills. But then they hype it up with these crazy trailers that depict the game in a completely different view of what it actually is. I'm going to use a classic, No Man's Sky for example. Now that is the biggest load of shit in terms of advertising that I've seen in the past, probably I'd say decade in actual fact. Off the top of my head, that's what I'm going to say. I mean, I was actually really interested in it, but I didn't want to buy it new because of just the track record of all the new games that have been coming out recently. They've all just been shit, to put it bluntly. So I was going to wait for it to drop in price, and then after, let's just say, a month, I found out that it's actually shit, and I was like, wow, I'm really surprised that it's shit and not what they said it was going to be. Wow. Honestly, I just thought, like, there's probably 1 in every 10, maybe 15 games that's actually genuinely worth the £40 that you pay for when it comes out, or whatever it is, however much they're charging for it. And it's really shit when you think about it, because we're here getting excited for these new games that are coming out, getting hyped up, which they're gonna do. They do it, trailers and gameplay footage. They do it for movies. They do it for everything. It's how they sell. I'm not really complaining about that, but an example that I do for movies where they hyped it up, I'd say it was the Simpsons movie. I'm not sure what year that came out in. It's a good bunch of years back, and basically the trailer that you saw, if you wanted to watch the film, you may as well watch the trailer, and you're done. But anyway, gaming in general is just about making money, and you can see that. I know, right, I'm going to talk about the packs that you get on the games. Like, I'm going to talk about the ones on Halo, and I'm going to talk about the ones on Gears of War 4. Alright, now I know they say they're for the esports, and they do sell them, and people do buy them, and they spend X amount on these digital packs for basically nothing, exclusive skins or whatever, that. And to be honest, I'm not really complaining because they're doing it. I'm just really trying to make a statement about how they're doing it and people are buying it, and it's not good. And the more people that buy it, it gives them a bigger reason to continue. And it's like, at the end of the day, they're taking shit out of the game and selling it sort of individually and making you pay more for it. Like some games, the season passes are good. I'd say Bethesda do it right. They're just, you know, an A1 studio slash publisher, whatever you want to call them. They're just like A1. You know, Rockstar, they're A1. EA, they're a bit shoddy these days. Ubisoft is a bit shoddy these days. You know, just the big ones. A lot of them have really gone off the rails, to be honest. Because so back in the day, let's just say 2005. I'm pretty sure you were considered like a nerd or a geek or a loner or a sad act or whatever you want to call it if you played games. You know, it was in like a bad light. Get what I'm trying to say? You're a bit of like a loser if you played games all day or whatever. And these days, it's all people do. It's on your phones, it's on your computers, it's on your consoles, it's on your TV. It's everywhere you go. Like people are always playing games these days. So now it's more of a normality. Therefore, the industry has just grown even bigger than it was before. It's crazy because you get I'd say hardcore gamers who are like, you know, they've been playing games kind of since they popped out of the womb. You know what I'm saying? And then you get the casual people who just play like FIFA and Call of Duty, and they buy every new one that comes out every year. And obviously they don't just play them. I don't literally just mean they play them, but you know, that's the main games that they play kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of replayability in them. You do kind of get good value for money if you like that sort of stuff, but they're not real gamers. But they're the ones that are propelling this Call of Duty FIFA cycle, and Call of Duty and FIFA are the ones that are bringing out a new game every year, and then all these other game studios, developers are trying to keep up with that, trying to get their share of the sales, and they're just making shit games to keep up with it. You know, Assassin's Creed, they've kind of gone back. Far Cry 4 to Far Cry 3 isn't what Far Cry 3 was to Far Cry 2, meaning Far Cry 2 and 3 were completely different. 3 was like a million times better than 2 in terms of just a lot of aspects. Maybe not the story, but that's a personal opinion. But 4 is so similar to 3. Then you get The Division by Ubisoft that was just like rinse, repeat, very, very drab, very dark, very repetitive gameplay. And the trailer looked awesome for it, but the game was just a disappointment. You get Watch Dogs when that came out. That was a load of bullshit. You get Titanfall 1. If you like multiplayer games, you're good, but it was very empty. There wasn't much in it whatsoever. Personally, for me, Destiny wasn't that good either. I mean, admittedly, it's a lot better now, but when it first came out, it was just, to me, it was just a joke. I wasn't impressed with it at all. But then you go back in time to when, before even the 360 was even out, so like PS2 sort of Xbox original days, and I don't know if any of you guys like played them or still play them now, but I would consider them to be like maybe a good chunk of the Xbox 360 / PS3 games too. I'd say they were like the last days of like genuine games, because if you wanted shit in the game, you had to do shit in the game to get it. You couldn't just buy it. Let's say you had to beat the game in under 10 hours and you unlock, I don't know, another mode or whatever it is that you unlock for doing it in the game. There wasn't any shortcuts where you could just buy it. So on Assassin's Creed Rogue, there's an achievement or a trophy for fully upgrading the Jackdaw, is it? The ship that you have on that. And obviously in the game you've got to go around collecting resources like wood, metal, fabric. And you can get it in the game, don't get me wrong, but it's going to take you a long time. And obviously they've done that on purpose so that it takes such a long time, or by the time you've done the main story, you're kind of near the end of it, but you're just not quite there. And you know it's going to take a long time to do it. So they give you the option to buy the materials with your cash. Digital content for your hard-earned cash. So you can go buy the metal, you can go and buy the wood with real money. And that needs to stop. That shouldn't be the case. That's just pure greed on Ubisoft's behalf. And if you don't agree with it, then that's fine, you know. That's up to you. Like, I'll talk about it if you want. It's cool with me. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinions and thoughts and everything else. But this is just what I think, and I honestly think that things like that are corrupting the gaming industry, because it shouldn't be about, oh yeah, I don't want to do it, or I can't be bothered to do it, I'll just buy my way through. It's like back in the day when, I don't know if you ever used to play like Pokemon Red or Blue or Yellow. I don't know if it was in yellow actually, but I know it was in red or blue. And you could do that little glitch where you fight Missing Go and you can get like 99 rare candies or 99 Master Balls. And like, it's all fun doing it, but at the same time you're defeating the purpose of the game itself. If you can just keep doing that and leveling up your Pokemon by pressing A. Oh yeah, you got 99. Oh, he's evolving. Yeah, great. That completely takes the fun out of the game, because the purpose of the game is to level them up and spend time doing it and everything else. That's the satisfaction you get at the end of it. You've put all that time and effort in, and now you're somewhat reaping the reward. Back in the day, you'd be playing a game, you'd get stuck, you'd try it a bunch of times. If you still couldn't do it, you might have kept trying, or you might have left it and come back to it later at another time or a date and tried it again, and you would have kept trying. You would keep on trying, and you'd be getting really angry and annoyed and just frustrated because you can't do it, and you're like, I'm not going to let this game beat me. And then when you finally do it, that's the joy. That is what it's about. You've finally done it. Like, it was a challenge, but you overcame it, and now it's like, yeah, I did that shit. Now it's just like, yeah, grind. You can do it. It's not hard. It's just going to take a long time. I don't really know the last hardest game I ever played. I'd probably say, chronologically speaking, I'd probably have to say, I mean, to be honest, Gears of War 4 on Insane is very difficult. I'd say that's the latest hardest game I've had to play. But before that, I'd probably say I remember Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 1 being very difficult, and I remember Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising, Halo 2 as well actually. These are all on the hardest modes. I remember them all being very difficult. From the top of my head, they're the ones that stand out to me right now. And there's countless games on the PS2 and the PS1 that are really difficult, albeit partly due because of the mechanics and the camera angles and all that kind of shit. But they were difficult games, and you know, you felt really accomplished once you'd done it. Games these days, I mean, even Halo 4, you can do that on your own on Legendary, it's not hard at all. Halo Reach, Halo 5, they're not hard. Even on the hardest mode on your own, they're not hard. Battlefield 1, not hard. And I don't know if it's just me or that's thinking these types of things, but I think it is kind of just getting to a point where it's like, the games these days are all about making money and showcasing the graphics, and that everyone's like, wow, they look real, yeah, whoa. I mean, personally for me, it's more about the gameplay, because it's a game. It's about how fun it is. It's about how challenging it is. It's about new crazy ideas. It's not about the graphics really. I mean, I still play PlayStation 2 games. I still play PlayStation 1 games, you know. So personally, for me, to be honest, I'd rather play them because I consider them to be like genuine games. I mean, I'm not talking about games like Forza where, you know, cars look like photorealistic and they got these crazy physics and all this kind of shit. Like, that's really amazing, don't get me wrong, that's wonderful. But for it to look good, it's got to play good too. It can't just look good and have lackluster story or shit mechanics or, you know, whatever. It's all got to be part of one complete package. And no matter what you get, whatever aspects of that you get within one game that you're buying, they still charge full price for it. The latest Deadpool game that came out on PS4 and Xbox One, that is just ridiculous. I bought it thinking, oh yeah, Deadpool, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be funny, it's going to be cool. Like, it was funny, don't get me wrong, it was crazy to be honest, but the actual game itself was not solid. It would be glitching, it would be freezing, it would be crashing, frame rate would just drop so much. And you're thinking, it's got PS2 graphics, how can it drop like this? And that was obviously put out to make money because of the name Deadpool. And people bought it because of the name Deadpool. But that tarnishes the name, it tarnishes the studio, it tarnishes everything, because how can they not do it when you got games like GTA 5 running how it did on the 360, you know? And I know GTA 5 had a crazy budget and they've got experience in it, but I mean, Deadpool looked like a PS2 game graphically, so I don't know what the excuse is, but I just don't know what's going on. And I just thought I'd use this time to express this shit, and you know, if anyone's watching it, I invite you to discuss it. I'll reply back, we can talk about it. Like, I can't be the only one thinking this, or maybe I've got some extreme, I say extreme, I mean we're only talking about games, but extreme views. And yeah, so if you are going to do that, then I look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, have a good day, and I'll might see you next time. See ya.